Hello and welcome to your reading. I was gonna say I have some important messages, but they're just messages. Whether they're important or not is if you deem them important or not. Okay, so I have some messages. I'm gonna try to keep this video short, but there are two messages that seem to be crossing over. I'm going to do them separately. So if you're watching this video, do watch the other. I may label them part 1 and 2. I may not, just depending on how I'm guided. But if you're watching this video, you may want to check the next one for any messages. Because like I said, they do cross over. However, they may not be directly connected, okay? But I know this message is for someone or some people who aren't comfortable with using their abilities, are afraid to use their abilities, don't want to let others know they have their abilities, and this message has came through a lot over this past year especially, okay? 111 as I saved on this timer. Now, if you are an empath and you feel the energies, if you're a sensitive as they call it, you'll feel these energies very strongly, but more so than the average person, okay? And if you are just now coming into your abilities, or you already know that you have abilities and you're vibing with the strong portals that are happening, then this message definitely could be for you. What I want to say to that is don't give away your power, okay? Is the theme of this message. You may be seeing 1212. You may also be seeing 133, okay? Now, when I originally started taking down this message, as I was collecting pieces of it, it was 1212 when I started writing, okay? Now, the term water diviner, okay, is what came through. But it came through 222 on the timer as I was scrolling through YouTube and I saw a song, and I'm going to post it below so that you can listen to the song, but it's actually from a movie, okay? So you may have seen that movie, The Water Diviner, but also you may be a water sign. You don't have to be. It's just coinciding with the message, water sign, okay? So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces could be your sun sign. Now, The Water Diviner came out, that movie came out in 2014, so that year could be very significant for you. Also, Russell Crowe stars in that movie. Crows could be significant, or the name Russell, okay? But to that, don't give your power away, and it's 1, 2, 3 on my clock. If you do not use the energy, it would be passed to someone else, okay, to be used. Now, most likely that will be someone who is in your soul family or your soul tribe, okay? Speaking of soul tribes, closer knit beings that you're connected to. Soul family is a wider range of people, but these are people who you are energetically connected to, tied to, I would say, the most heavily, okay? Now, the water diviner, or water witch as it's being called, because I never heard of a water diviner, and I had to, like I said, collect the pieces of this message and then put together what's going on. So you also could be what I started calling a spiritual detective, okay? You may be able to collect messages, receive messages in many different ways, and you find that they resonate with one another, and you put together the pieces, okay, of the puzzle, and then come up with your message, okay? That's how you interpret it. You may watch a lot of crime shows, and if you've ever seen how they make a pin on the board, put the pins on the board and attach the red strings, you know, to what coincides, or however, whatever that is, that may resonate with you, and that be your ability. But I want to read this definition of water diviner. It says a water diviner is a person who uses a divining rod or other device to locate water, minerals, or other hidden substances, especially underground. In the United States, a water diviner is also known as a water finder. But the other tools used are keys, wire coat hangers, pliers, wire rods, pendulums, electrical instruments, okay? And from other things that I was reading, this type of individual was trying to be debunked, okay? Saying that it doesn't exist. But if you understand this, and this is your ability, especially this rod, your electromagnetic force is what's moving the rod. So that is your ability to locate things by using the rod, okay? It connects to your ability. So usually when people don't understand things, they want to demonize it or discredit it or what have you, okay? So that may be what you're experiencing when dealing with, or should I say struggling with, putting your ability out there, letting other people know, or what have you, okay? So just take it as it resonates. But as we go about our lives, if we're supposed to know something, it will slowly come into our awareness, present itself, okay? And in my deck, it's a character deck, and this card, Diviner, is in there. And I would always want to say Diviner, okay? And so I feel like that was making me pay attention. And so when I came across that video yesterday of the music, I noticed the word diviner in the title, okay? And so it made me listen to the song, put the puzzle pieces together, okay, for this message. And you may not be a water diviner, you may just be a diviner, period, okay? Seer of the unseen, foresight, insight, have a cosmic connection, okay? Also, what I'm getting is scrying, okay? So you may be able to scry, which is getting visions through a crystal ball or any other crystal, okay? Now, I'm going to, because this message right here has a lot to do with fear, okay? And I'm going to tap into the past life energy, because you may be afraid in this lifetime because of things of the past, okay? So I just want to go more into that, help you figure out why it is you don't want to connect with your abilities, or let them be known. Because I feel like somebody may be using their abilities, they just don't let other people know, okay? So I'm gonna use a past life oracle deck for that, but also go into the sixth instinct deck, which is really our first instinct, our intuition, okay? And see what other messages come from there. So when speaking of listening to this Water Diviner song, you may listen to it and it brings something up, some type of memory, some type of emotion that will tap you in further into your abilities. During my big bang awakening and getting comfortable with everything that I could do, finding out what I could do, having the courage to go into what was being presented to me, or my memories resurfacing, okay, of what I was here to do, I should say. The music that I was drawn to was music scores from superhero movies, okay? And confirmation, so that may be what you need to listen to, is scores from superhero movies. But for me, it was the Justice League movies. And I had found the music before even watching the movies, okay? And then I watched the movies, and they also resonated, so that may be helpful for someone. Also, Germanic, Viking, or Norse themed music was helpful for me. Music of the Emerald Isles, Ireland, Scotland, okay? Different music, different movies, or what have you, they ignite things within us, okay? So, like I was saying, someone knows they have abilities, but they may just be afraid to let others know. In past lives, okay, because the term witch came up, water witch, okay? So a lot of times with that was people were outed, okay, by people who they trusted. A lot of times, so that could be relevant. You may feel like you don't want to tell your family because you won't be received well or what have you, but that could play in this lifetime. Somebody could feel like it's forbidden or taboo, especially if you were raised in a religious household. Okay, in my household, you wasn't gonna talk about these cards, okay, or hearing someone speak to you, or being able to talk to the dead, and all, you know, so that could be relevant. But also, you came here with these abilities dormant in you, okay? These are things you came here with so that you could do whatever it is you came here to do it, to accomplish whatever it is you came here to do. It's like, you know, you have a certain job, you pack that toolbox, okay? And when you get to the job, you unpack that toolbox to use whatever you need. It was 3, 2, 1 on the timer, and it's 1, 3, 2 on the clock. I just caught that. But you unpack these tools to use them for that specific job. Now, like I said, don't give your power away. So when I speak of your abilities going somewhere else, okay, because the energy has to be used, and if you're not using it, it'll be transferred to someone else, okay? And an example of that is clairgustance was one of the last clair abilities that I cultivated, okay, or that came about and or acquired. And I never really paid attention to that, never thought that I would acquire that. It just, one day I started receiving messages in that way, started smelling certain things, and then a message come through. For example, I, in a recent reading, was smelling the smell of cigarettes being put out in water, okay? And then I had a friend call me like, you know, I just saw your reading, you know, that's my dad. My dad used to do that. And so, you know, that was just confirmation. But someone in my soul group, or soul family, I should say, didn't appreciate, was afraid to use that ability. Okay, so I came into the awareness that that was transferred to me. That's why it was the last one to be cultivated and what have you. But cannot be afraid to use your abilities. Now, I won't say you cannot be afraid, because you got free will. You don't even have to use them. But I will say your abilities are special, okay? And what makes you special is making use of those abilities. So you can use them however you choose. So I would suggest that you use them wisely. And that's all I can do is suggest. Now, not everybody came here to be a benevolent being. That's not their character this lifetime. So however you use your abilities is up to you. It's not for me to say, it's not for me to judge, okay? But I will suggest you use them nonetheless. You may also be seeing the numbers 144 and 444 at the same time, okay? At the time I was taking down this particular part of the message, it was 1:44 West Coast time. And when it's 1:44 here, it's 4:44 on the East Coast. Okay, so that could be significant. You may be seeing those numbers together, or the West Coast or East Coast may be significant for you. And like I said, you have free will to use or not to use your abilities. And when I say don't give your power away, I'm going to give an example, because one day I had a friend call me and she was kind of upset. And, you know, she was telling me of a scenario that happened. And automatically, because of fear, she's like, you know, I'm being spiritually attacked and, you know, whatever. And I'm like, well, why do you feel like that? And so she told me what happened. And I was like, okay, so why do you feel like that was somebody else and that wasn't your own ability? Okay. And because of fear, she just, oh no, this is somebody spiritually attacking me. And I'm not saying spiritually attacks aren't real, because they very much so are. I've experienced a lot of them. Okay. But when you give over your power to, oh, it's a psychic attack, it's a spiritual attack, you're giving your power away. Now, in this specific instance, she was giving her power away because it was her own ability she was experiencing. And I hope she sees this video. It was her own ability she was experiencing, but she was fearful. It scared her. Okay. And I let her know, why are you giving it to this other entity? Why are you giving credit? Okay. And the thing was, she said that she thought about something and then it happened. Okay. And from what she described, that's telekinesis. Okay. But she just automatically turned it into a negative thing. Okay. 137 may be significant for someone. 138. My phone just lit up. So, though these things are real, if your vibration is high and you're taking control of your own power, these things won't affect you. So once again, the message is don't give your power away. Okay, so when you are, if you are in a positive mindset, positive mind frame, and you are keeping your energy high, you are keeping your vibration elevated, when people try to send these things towards you, you just go right back. Okay, what the person ultimately does is send that negative energy right back to them. Okay, because your energy field is not going to let it in. Your vibration is too high. It's the same way as when you're vibrating high, those people on a low vibration, they'll vibrate right out of your existence. You won't hear from them anymore. You won't think about them because you're on a different frequency. Okay, so another thing is, if I do a reading and I'm picking up on that energy that somebody's being psychically attacked, like, I don't make that the focus of a reading, and I won't. Okay, because in that way I'm helping you take away your power. So, like, I may say, okay, you might want to just be extra cautious at this time. Be aware of your surroundings. You may want to monitor the people you're around, okay, or adjust your crowd, whatever the case. But speaking to that, I'm gonna give an example. I have my oldest daughter is on the autism spectrum, and I never told her about that growing up. Okay, she found out in school. She came home and asked me one day about, like, what is this, and then we had the conversation, because all while she was growing up, I didn't want that to be a crutch or a handicap or whatever, because why would I? Now, the thing that she had a really hard time with was speaking. She didn't speak until it was like a week before kindergarten. She had to go to school, and she had been to therapies, occupational speech, physical therapy, none of these things were helping, okay? Speech therapy wasn't helping her speak. And a lot of the times, if we're told something, we use that to be like, oh, well, this is why I can't do X, Y, Z, okay? So I ended up being frustrated, okay? Because I'm like, she's going to all this therapy and nothing, she still can't speak. And she was dealing with something called echolalia, where she would just mimic, okay, what was being said to her. She would just repeat it. And one day I just stopped going, taking her to therapy. It's not working. We're wasting time, okay? Didn't want to send her into school without her being able to speak. And I used to let her watch YouTube videos. And just one day she tapped something, and it was somebody was using dolls and they were speaking to each other, okay? The person was making them speak to each other. My daughter couldn't formulate her own thoughts. She would just repeat. But the more she watched those videos, one day I saw her giving the dolls voices. Now she has them conversing with each other. She basically took what she saw and helped her own self speak, okay? So, like, we give ourselves these limitations, or other people help us give ourselves limitations, is what I want to say. So don't give your power away. Also, I taught her how to use a washer and dryer. I just wrote on there, okay, step 1, step 2, and I'm showing her what to do in order, and she knew what to do. So don't let people limit your abilities. I want to go to this 6th Instinct Oracle deck and see what type of abilities you are resonating with, okay? More confirmation that this reading is for you, or whatever help this information could give you. And it's 1:44 on my clock right now. So 1:44 and 4:44, very significant. Now, as I was just shuffling, networking flipped over, okay? It may help you to speak to someone that you trust about your abilities, but witchcrafting is what actually came out the deck, okay? The exercise or invocation of, it says, alleged supernatural powers to control people or events, practices typically involving sorcery or magic. Now, I don't particularly like this wording on the card because, like I said, people like to demonize things, okay? But this also attests to how are you using your abilities, okay? How do you choose to use your ability is what I want to say, okay? Because this does say using your abilities to control people or events. And so let me just say this, because there are 555 on the timer. There are certain abilities I will not use, okay? I'm aware that I have them and I choose not to use them. Why? Because one allows someone else to be able to affect my free will. The other one will allow me to affect someone else's free will, okay? And when you're dealing with these abilities, you will be tested from time to time. Like I said, we're all here for different reasons. Not everyone is here to be a benevolent energy or have, you know, you could be here as a villain, you know, who knows? But it's always gonna come. Are you gonna use this ability? What are you gonna use it for? These are the things that are gonna come about, okay? So, like, I know that me being able to connect to the other side, passed over loved ones, ancestors, deceased, whatever, I won't bring someone into my body, some energy into my body to speak through me. I'm not gonna do that, okay? I find it kind of pointless when I can just channel a message from the other side. So I wouldn't just give over my power like that. And the other one, I'm not going to talk about, but I won't use it I'm not even gonna say I won't use it. I will use it if it comes to a life and death situation. I will use that. But otherwise, too, and I was just speaking about mediumship. Somebody here definitely can connect the other side. But that's mediumship is just being able to connect with spirits in general. Okay. But like I used to, my kids or anybody growing up, what if you had a superpower, what would it be? Okay. And I would always say invisibility, but I would never say why, other than to rob a bank. Okay. Which when I was coming up with these, answers, I wasn't tapped in, tuned in, or fully aware of my capabilities and blah blah blah, whatever. But one day, I believe it was my son who asked me, while we were walking somewhere, what would it be? And I was like, invisibility. And he was like, why? And I immediately said, because I feel invisible already, so why not actually be invisible? And that at that time, it literally was part of me awakening. Okay. So this may also be something that you're going through, feeling invisible because you have to hide your abilities. Writing is here. And you may automatic write, okay? And automatic writing, for me, looks like this. If you can see it, it's backwards, but you can see how it's written. And then I have to go back over what I've written and translate it for myself. Because when you're automatic writing, it's just, okay? So you may also journal too, because you can't openly express, okay? So take that as it resonates. Well, this could be one of your abilities, or this could be a predictive reading for someone, message for someone. This may be what you are going to come into, okay? So you just have to take it as it resonates. So when I think about, when I speak about things coming into your awareness, and this could be predictive, things will present itself in order for you to get ready for something, okay? An example of that is one, before my parents got divorced, I was seeing so many things about that related to divorce. And then I saw, if anybody ever used to watch those after school specials, there was an after school special on divorce. And at the time that I saw that, I was like, my parents are getting divorced. Like something just told me, okay? My instincts, my intuition was like, they're getting a divorce. Maybe 2 days later, my mom came and talked to me, okay? So things will present itself to you so that you are aware. So this could be you're coming into the awareness that something is coming, one of your abilities or something is coming on, okay? Another thing is my daughter, having an autistic child. Prior to me getting pregnant with her, I had never heard the word autistic, literally. And I was in my 30s, never heard of an autistic child. When I got pregnant, all these things started coming up about autism, autistic children. Is it genetic? Is it brought on by vaccinations and what have you, okay? And so even at that point, I was like, okay, it's coming too much into my awareness. There's something about this, okay? And when she was born, she was fine. Networking is out again. When she was born, she was fine. Everything was on track. After a series of combined vaccinations, she started to decline, okay? So things come into your awareness because you need to be aware, okay? So networking is out. And this card says the ability to make contacts and build relationships in person or via web-based tools. Now, some people like groups. You may find a group that has your same abilities. If you feel comfortable in those type of group settings, you may want to just get into one of those so that you see that there are other people like you, okay, who are dealing with the same abilities or just the apprehension about using abilities. Now, I had a real just a problem with speaking my whole life since I was a child, okay? And we have past life memories to let us know what's up, okay? So you may be having past life memories, or we're guided to information that will help us understand, oh, why are we going through this? Why are we having this problem? And how can we get over it, or whatever the case may be. But in a past lifetime, my throat was slit, okay? And I came across this this lady speaking on past lives, and she was speaking on, if you have a problem with your throat chakra, there was most likely trauma in a past life, okay? And I had already been given the past life dream memories, okay? So, confirmation for me. Clairgustance. Okay, and I was just speaking of clairgustance, and I always get these two mixed up because clairgustance is actually taste, message to taste. Clairalience, I believe that's how you say it, is messages through smell, heightened smell activity. Okay, so just want to correct that, but it says the ability to taste something that isn't actually there. You could get a familiar taste of something. Doesn't necessarily have to do with you, okay? But you'll receive a message in that way. If you're chewing strawberry bubblegum and all of a sudden you taste cigarettes, okay? You know, your body's letting you know that something's coming through. You need to pay attention. Clairaudience is on the bottom of the deck. Definitely, if you're listening to this message, you have the clairaudient ability. 444 on the timer, confirmation. But also, like, I didn't put this message together the day that I first started getting the message, okay? Later on in the day, I would come across a message that added to the message. And then the final parts of the message came to me in the in-between, okay? This morning, clairaudient messages. So another thing is, if you're being called to be a diviner, you may tap into the collective, okay, to give messages as I'm giving. That can be a daunting task. And as I say that, all these cards are falling out of my hand. But Humble and Mars fell out, and I feel like that's very significant. Mars is action-oriented action, motivation, masculine energy, getting the job done, okay? And Humble here is, it says humble is the portal of limitless improvements, but this person is looking really shy is what I'm getting. And those are two contrasting energies. And when I say that, communication, Mercury, okay? So these are very significant. You may be called to do what I'm doing, giving messages. Mercury is all about communication. So tapping into a collective to give messages. You're not just giving messages, you have to receive first, okay? So the collective that I deal with are thousands of people. That means you have to be strong mentally, first and foremost, to bring in this energy. You're sifting through thousands upon thousands of people to receive messages to give to them. So like I said, when it comes to your free will, you can either accept or deny, okay? Because if you don't feel like you're strong enough to handle the energy, it's not something you will want to do, or you will want to wait until you feel that you can take on a task, okay? So you have to be able to determine that. Now, just like with the message, I had to feel, does this message need to be put out right now? Or do I need to wait? And I felt like I needed to wait, and I did, because I needed to gather more pieces of the message, okay? And teaching goes along right with this, because if you have clairaudient abilities, or abilities in general, okay, because they could be a range of things, most likely you're going to be teaching. Our abilities are for us, but ultimately they're for us to help others, okay? One more, please. And then I'm going to go to the past life deck. Manifestation and star seeds. Definitely speaking to some star seeds, okay? Manifestation is, it says, power manifestors turn desire and thoughts to reality by initiating action and creation. Mars energy, action and creation, okay? Star seeds are the advanced spiritual beings who possess spiritual and scientific knowledge that date back hundreds and thousands of years. You possess within you the information you need to do what you come here to do, okay? So let's see, I'm going to go to the past life deck for more messages and hopefully some clarity into why you may be feeling you don't want to tap into these abilities. Okay, so at the bottom of this deck, like off top, monk or nun, as reason why you might be afraid to use your abilities. Now, this is written spiritual and reality, spirituality and religion is right behind it. Okay, so definitely for someone, you were raised in a heavily religious household, okay? This lifetime, but also in a previous lifetime, you could have been in this environment. You could have been someone of the faith and had abilities, but you couldn't let it be known, okay? I'm hearing I already took a vow. So if you took a vow to be a part of whatever this religious sector was, it's like you put that in the forefront of your own abilities, is what I feel. Now, trees is here. And trees, that just gives me grounded, rooted, but also people were hung for having abilities, okay? They were looked at as the evil witch. And then, of course, everything that they did was taken and used by others, okay? Communal living, and behind that is medicine woman. And I just really feel like all these cards are in line. Communal living. This is a past life deck, and it could be a very recent past life. This communal living is giving me cult, okay? And I just heard some weird sound like start up that may be confirmation for somebody. But communal living, with me feeling like this was, and it was just 2:03 on the clock and 2:03 on the timer at the same time. That's a 5. So you may be seeing 55, or there's about to be some changes. And I saw 222 on the timer now. Something is changing for you to come into alignment with something, maybe like-minded individuals, because 222 is partnerships, okay? And if you're seeing 4, 5, 6, you're coming into physical union with your divine counterpart or soul tribe, either or and or, okay? Both and. So take that into account. Now, a recent past life, some type of cult activity. You may have used your abilities to get yourself out of that situation. And I'm using that as an example because that's a past life thing for me. In a past life, somebody had the power of persuasion, okay? And people use that term very lightly as somebody who just has the gift of gab. No, that's an ability to where you can speak and control what someone does, okay? So in a past life, that's what was happening. This person was running a cult, and that's how they were able to have this, whatever this communal living situation was going on, and they were upset because they could not use that ability on me. So you could have a similar situation going on. It could have been that situation in general and you having to use your abilities. It's just something about the situation that makes you fearful. So let's see. What are the messages from the past life oracle? And I'm seeing the movie, and I had never watched it. It's been out for so long, and now I can't even think of the name. Hold on, because I want to remember the name. I can see what it is, but I can't remember what the movie is called. 1 second. It's called Practical Magic. It's been out since forever, but I only ever first watched it maybe I think last month because my guides kept showing it to me, It actually had some relevance in my life. But I kept wanting to say The Craft. So that movie is significant. If you can hear that notification, that'll be confirmation for somebody. The movie The Craft is significant for some reason. Okay, now they both have to do with witches. But I keep looking down at the trees card, and on Practical Magic, in the beginning, they were trying to hang someone and they didn't succeed, okay? So that may be significant for someone. Phobias is here on the bottom. Someone's afraid for some reason to use their abilities. And I really feel like this has to do with religious reasons, okay? Native American, okay? And I did see Medicine Woman on the bottom of the deck before I started to shuffle again. So you could have been someone who, you could have been a medicine woman, okay? And I feel like for someone, Native American is a nationality or a race in this lifetime. That is your nationality, okay? I'm hearing Algonquin, Blackfoot, Cherokee. So any of those tribes could be significant. I'm hearing Northern California. So if there's a Northern California native tribe, whatever that area is, okay, it can resonate with you. Or Northern California may be specific for you for some type of reason. One more. Finances. This finance card gives me paying off, like someone being paid. I'm hearing to squeal. That's such an old word, to squeal. It's giving me Little Rascal vibes. So that could be significant. But this is like people getting paid to turn in witches, people who had abilities, practice the craft, okay? So definitely like the message of someone being outed, okay? So this could definitely be your past life stories. Egypt is on the bottom of the deck, could be significant. And behind that is imprisonment or slavery. Somebody could have been a slave in a past life, but this imprisonment and slavery is giving me with these finances, like you were abducted, taken in because someone got paid to out you. Confirmation if you heard that. So I'm gonna go to the tarot just to see what comes out. And then I'm gonna get some closing messages from this other oracle deck for maybe some type of guidance or encouragement, okay? I hope this message was helpful for whoever needed it at this time. Gave you some type of clarity or into your situation or confidence in your abilities. This is the Emperor. taking the lead, okay? This is that Mars energy, that force, drive. When I say force, I don't mean force as in aggression or in a negative connotation. I mean driving force, okay? Action, taking the lead, okay, in your own life, taking control of your power. The Emperor is very well aware of their personal power. At the bottom of the deck is the Hanged Man, and right behind it is Nine of Swords, and I feel like that is the energy of whoever is in this reading. You're allowing your anxieties to keep you in a stuck position, okay? The Hanged Man is someone who put themselves there by their own doing, okay? But you're being awakened and enlightened to your abilities. This is the Hierophant, okay? Higher level of knowledge and ability and understanding. To 11 on the clock. Six of Pentacles and Eight of Pentacles is right behind it. And Ace of Cups, and I feel like it's real relevant, okay? So Six of Pentacles is things coming into balance. Your abilities are balancing, okay? They're coming online is the phrase they're giving me, okay? So self-mastery is the Eight of Pentacles. This is mastering your abilities, but you have to be in this, excuse me, this, somebody definitely could have some issues with their throat chakra. Being in this Ace of Cups, open heart energy, open to receiving and using and being comfortable with your innate abilities, okay? So very strongly, this Mars energy, this Emperor energy may be a fire sign, and Mars is in heavy play at this time. It just went retrograde, I believe, yesterday, the 6th of December. And when things are in retrograde, it's to teach us lessons, okay? Taking us back to review. And so a lot of the energy you may be experiencing is something resurfacing to take you back to a time when you needed to express some level of courage, okay? Some type of strength. And with my throat chakra just being agitated, that could be someone having the courage to speak up in a situation, okay? So these are the things that could be resurfacing at this time, because there's some type of burden on you, 10 of Wands. But with this being someone packing up and going about their way, okay, that's the picture on here. And as you can see, the path is lit up, okay? So I feel like someone is going to be in that energy of, okay, I don't want to be in this passive energy anymore. I'm going to pack that away, do away with it, and find the courage, find the strength to move forward, okay? Seven of Pentacles, planting those seeds. Because at one point, someone planted seeds of doubt and fear in you, okay? 314 on the timer, 214 on the clock. 14s are significant. That is Archangel Michael on the Temperance card. So another card of balance and harmony. You're coming into harmony with self, okay? And I feel like whoever this is, it's your masculine energy, 333 on the timer, that has to be come into balance, okay? You may be very comfortable with your feminine energy, but it's your masculine energy that needs to come to the forefront. So I very well could be speaking to males, okay, who need their masculine energy to come to the forefront at this time, okay? Because stability, and another card of stability is here, okay? 4 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles. You could be coming into a position, which with all these cards here, this is the position of a father taking care of a family, okay? This is the father, this is the family, and this is the home, okay? So you may be, your masculine energy is being called to the forefront at this time. You may already be very well in tune with your feminine energy. You could be a water sign, okay? Water signs are very intuitive and nurturing. You could already, 444, already have that under control, already be comfortable with your feminine energy, but your masculine energy is being called to the forefront. And we all have an aspect of both within us, but they have to, temperance is about the perfect chemistry, the perfect amount, the perfect mix, okay? And so if your masculine energy is needed to come to the forefront, you need to be more of your masculine energy, and that is the balance. More masculine, less feminine, okay? And I just saw the Empress peeking out. That is the balance, because with chemistry, it's not always an equal amount of everything, okay? So we don't always have an equal amount of masculine and feminine energy going on. It's the you being able to control it and bring forth the energy that you need in any given situation, time, or what have you, okay? Somebody's being real guarded, okay? 9 of Wands, you're being guarded because of a fear. 4 of Cups, apathetic energy. It's like, well, if I'm just going to ignore it, is what I feel, okay? That's the message that's coming through. With this 4 of Cups, I'm just going to ignore that ability, okay? Maybe it'll go away. It won't, okay? I didn't want to hear the voices, okay? And at the time, I didn't know that I was able to connect to the other side. And I thought it was just, I'm hearing things, okay? And I actually started going to therapy. And what I found out, it was that I could connect to the other side, because I was always hearing people who needed help, okay? And what it was is people needed help getting messages to their loved ones, okay, from the other side. And so not until I embraced that did it stop making me afraid, did I stop being not in control of it, okay? They didn't just come over and over and over, me hearing these voices of people needing help, okay, or in distress, or, you know, whatever it was. Once I embraced it, I was able to control the flow of information that's coming through, okay? So keep that in mind. You have control over how these things come through. And example of that is I always keep a notebook in my bed, notebook and pen, because clairaudient messages and I automatic write, okay? But I still have control over that. If I don't want to be getting up and writing during the middle of the night, I will remove the notebook and pen. That lets my guides know, don't send me messages, okay? This is my off time. And I got an example one time of somebody saying you can have an open and closed sign. Imagine an open and closed sign, and when you don't want to be using your abilities, you put your closed sign up, okay? Imagine your closed, flipping your sign closing from open to close, okay? So keep that in mind. But this is new things coming in, Page of Wands, new messages, your abilities coming online. And you choose what you want to do. You choose. 2 of Wands. This is a choice. You choose whether you want to use them or not. Okay, so I'm just going to get some closing messages to see what else your guides have for you. Words of encouragement or advice. It's time to stop letting worry rule you. Instead, get excited about your future and all it will bring. What energy and emotion you put out comes back to you. With a little conscious effort on your part, that happy ending can and will be yours. Believe that. Now, conscious effort is what's really standing out, and it's time to let worry stop ruling you, okay? Conscious effort, you control how you use and if you use your abilities, okay? One more. Keep moving forward, even if you are unsure of your next step or where it may take you. Trust that you are walking the path you are meant to walk. You're doing what you came here to do. Remember, we are walking it with you. Trust yourself more. Strong message from your guides, passed over loved ones, whoever is sending this message through. So with that being said, I thank you for receiving your message. I wish you all the best moving forward, and take care.